So this one survey that we ran in my gym called Cali Unity, which is the gym in Bath, is a high-end boutique studio, changed everything about how we proceeded from then on. It was crazy. We were doing so many additional things at the gym. We were doing check-in sessions, nutrition support, open gym. We were running events. We were doing weekly meetups. We were going and doing sauna experiences. We were giving away guides and ebooks. But we were doing so much that we didn't know what our customers actually wanted. And we ran this survey and we cut off 80% of the things that we did. And we identified who are the top 20% of our customers that give us A, 80% of the revenue, but B, 80% of the referrals, and we decided to go all in on them. So today, what I want to do is I just want to go through the survey that we ran. I want to go through why I think it's a really good idea to run a member survey. I want to run through some of the results that we got, and I want to show you how you can implement a member survey in your gym or with your customers. Same thing if you run a service company, so you can identify who to work with and who to not work with. So, we just used Google Forms. Really, really, really simple. If you want to go straight to source, by the way, I think the book is one of these books. I think it's $100 million offers, and right at the end, he talks about it. But I'll if you DM me and I'll get back to you on that. But at the end of the book, he talks about this principle. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Now, the main thing here is we got 83 responses. We have 180 members, so it's pretty indicative of the overall community. We to them, we were like, you'll get a free protein bar. We'll enter you into a raffle to win a 100 quid voucher, and we had a deadline, right? So they got something in return, and there was urgency to finish by a certain date. Now, this stuff doesn't work unless you actually push it, right? If we just sent out a survey, la 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 la, like no one's gonna do it. No one cares, right? It's like people have their lives. They come to your studio or they do your thing, and they just get on with the rest of their lives. They might be with you. For us, it's 3 times a week for 45 minutes, right? So you have to give them a reason to bloody do this survey. That's like point number one. Number two, we put this across all of our distribution channels. So we put an A board in the gym and we said, hey, please fill this out. We mentioned it at the start and end of classes. We put out an email to all of our members. We messaged our overall group chat of the WhatsApp community, of the Cali community, but then we messaged their individual group chats. Every single member has their own group chat with the teams. They can communicate easier. So we tried, like we didn't let volume be the reason why this didn't work. So let's go through some of the questions. So, and I'll try and go through the reasoning behind them. So age range, we just wanted to see who the main people are in the gym. I think overall our main was 35 to 65 or 35 to 55. That's like our main, if one here, yeah, 35 to 55. That was the main kind of like demographic. We had female in the gym. Bear in mind, by the way, 83 responses, 180 members. You have size, right? And so the people who are more likely to fill out the survey might then be the ones, you never know, they might be female, they might be male. I'm not making any assumptions, but you have to keep that in mind. How long have you been a member at Cali? This is just good for us to know. The people that are here longer generally just kind of get on with it. The people that are here for less, actually, it's funny, they want to get more involved and they want to actually give more feedback. The people that have been here for longer have given us their feedback already. It was strange. Most people are full-time employed, which was interesting. Are you a parent? Again, I think it was 60 or two-thirds of our members were our parents, but a lot of them had older/independent kids. They had a lot of free time. How did you first hear about Community? Mainly it was social media and referrals, pretty much. Again, this bit is who who do we help? Like who are we currently helping? Right. Then it was like, okay, marketing. So like, what trigger moved you to actually join Cali Unity? Maybe it was like the gym, or main one for that one. But it's like if there's one of these which is just obvious, you just go all in on this thing, right? Did you have any hesitations or doubts? What was your main reason for starting? How easy did you find the sign up process? What have you achieved? What's your personal win? What's your number one fitness goal in the next 12 months? What are you currently on? This, by the way, um, and I think linking to this, what you can then do is you can link these two to their age range, their gender, etc., and then you can correlate who spends the most and who are they, and that's who you target more of. And also, if you go one layer deeper, you'll be like, well, what triggered our best customers to spend the most money? Then we just do more of that. Usually, this one question led to us introducing supplements and personal training, and eventually group training as well, which was a big, big, big thing. This is the fulfillment team, important but not so important. And then these things, this, if you're in fulfillment and you want to know what your people actually, your customers actually want, this. If we removed everything off this list but one, what would you want to keep the most? This is obvious, like regular workshops and special classes, right? And if we kept everything on this list but one, what would you want? What would you bother? Bloody hell! Which would this was a bit of a tongue twister. I'm not gonna lie. God, basically, no one gave a shit about nutrition support. No one gave a shit about monthly checks. No one gave a shit about those things. Interesting. I'm not gonna go there, but it's what you find sometimes is the things that people actually need to get results they least care about. It's actually the things that they enjoy the most, and it's the most community driven that they actually enjoy the most. Interesting. Again, this was just like, which one should we include? What would have to happen to quit Cal Unity tomorrow, right? You know, all these kind of things. This was again mainly for the fulfillment team. Again, you can, if you want to, you can pause here. If you comment below, I'll send this to you, right? I don't mind. You can just run this in your gym. It's actually part of my 10-step framework that I'm using at the minute to help some gyms out here where I'm living in Vancouver. To help them. It's a 10-step framework going from no idea what we're doing. Maybe we have a bit of traction, understanding things. I know, and maybe a few members, but not consistent income. They're kind of all coming from all over the place. To a productized, systematized, outsourced gym where you can just make sure your team's doing everything good. You actually have a business rather than being a really underpaid employee working 70 hours a week, and you can build something that lasts because you are no longer the bottleneck. This is the first step in that 10-step process. If you want the full process, book a breakthrough call with me. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, this was interesting. Were you aware of the referral bonus? Basically, no one gave a shit about our referral bonus, so we started to introduce an absolutely crazy one. Like, we just went crazy with our referral bonus. And remember what? People started taking it. So we got so many more referrals because we realized that no one actually gives a shit about our referral play. Great. Really, really good. Have you looked? So why do this survey? I've got some of these things here. One of the most important things is it actually shows that you care to your members and that you listen, right? Cali Unity has always been about building a community to build the community. And it's to genuinely serves the community, but we realized that we were making assumptions that members wanted, right? So rather than just collecting data, we listened to what they wanted, but more importantly, we listened to what they didn't say. And honestly, if you want to solve a problem, just listen to your customers, but be careful. If all we did as business owners was listen to our customers, we just have faster horse-drawn carriages. So be very, very, very careful. Okay? Blah blah blah. We found blind spots. Most importantly, bloody hell, I can't talk today. Most importantly, we found out what our customers wanted without explicitly saying it, right? Then and what they said into a client journey, which we had anyway, but it just kind of like, it allowed us to double down on that, and it allowed us to get rid of 80% of the things that we were offering. And what we actually did, really honestly, and I can't show you the numbers because it's obviously internal company data, but all I can say is that we were spending a lot of money on things that didn't actually move the needle in any way, and we decided to double down on the things that people actually liked and trim the things people didn't like, right? And that meant that we could reallocate resources to things that actually drove revenue and reduce churn, right? That's what a business is. Let's just be real. Get more customers, make them worth more by keeping them for longer. Pretty simple. It also meant that we could see what our customers wanted in terms of retention and culture, right? So it was pretty obvious for us what they wanted. And so, wow, we could just give them what they wanted in terms of workshops, more events, more classes, right? But overall, it was a mirror. It showed us that growth didn't come from more ads, it came from listening better. This really is Cali Unity means beauty and community. And I think this is why we've grown from nothing to Bath's #1 rated independent gym in like no time, because we just listen to our customers. It's pretty obvious. But again, really importantly, we listen to what they say without what they directly say. We try and read between the lines and we try and correlate that to data. Now, an interesting kind of like side note here is data on its own is fucking meaningless. So if you just weigh yourself, it doesn't matter. But if you weigh yourself in relation to how many calories you're eating, then you can track the calories to the weight and you can know if it works. But if you go one level deeper, I think pairing qualitative data with quantitative data is the business owner's role, right? And so this right here is qualitative data. Some of it's quantitative, I guess, but when you link this in with the quantitative data of churn, signups, ROAS, to CAC, etc., then you'll actually be able to see the links between these two things and you can bring out the messaging and the marketing and the material from this qualitative data so that the quantitative works better. And this is what we kind of got to here. So we said, well, who are our customers? Okay, where are they? Blah, 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 you know? What would make them leave? What would they want more? Where do they get the most communication from? How do they describe Cali Unity, right? And this was like a really, really important thing. And so what this leads me to next, let me give you a peek preview to my book. Okay, this is some sneak preview stuff. If you got 12 minutes into this video, by the way, I love you. Um, we are on page 156 of my current book that I'm writing, reflecting on my journey going from engineer trainer or qualified personal trainer to 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week to my first ever garage gym, my first ever garage gym to Bath's #1 rated independent gym. Now we're actually, Cali Unity has become a registered training center in the UK so that we can qualify level 2 and level 3 personal trainers. But the key thing is we don't want to give personal trainers pieces of paper that gets them into a career that the most 80% will quit within the first year. We actually want to give them the business acumen and the real world experience of how to actually keep customers and how to actually do this properly. Firstly, from my story, but also from transferring that skill to our 20 employees and also people that we helped in the past and running one of the best gyms in the UK. So, if you want to see more of that, DM me. But this is the 10-step framework. The first thing is you survey the customers and you figure out who the fuck they are, right? And all the things that we just did, it gives you clarity. You suddenly realize that half of what you thought mattered doesn't matter, right? Uh, most we need to add more classes, more equipment, more programs. No, it's not. You have to cut 80%. The mastery is not when you can add nothing more, it's when you can take away nothing less, right? That's the key. And so it's stripping back. I truly believe sometimes that you have to like pad things out to then realize what actually matters, to then bring it back to its core. Like when you think of like nutrition, at first, when you first get into it, you're like, oh yeah, macronutrients and bloody supplements and all these things. And dude, train more, eat more protein, eat less, sleep more. Shut up. That's it, you know? So the more in mastery you get, the more you simplify things back to the basics. And that I think is the most important thing of what the survey does. Once you've done this, then what you do is you identify the customers, right? So you actually find the top 20%. You then name your avatars. These two can kind of be linked to each other, right? So it's like, this is who you help. I help Sarah and I help James. Then from there, you design a Grand Slam offer for that person, okay, or for those people. Then you create ascension offers and retention systems, so a client journey, and essentially help them out and generate the maximum amount of revenue, but do that in a way to actually help them out. Then from there, you create the sales system. upgrade the sales script again towards that person. Then you build the funnel, so how you're actually going to funnel that attention. Then you figure out how you're going to drive traffic using the core four. Then you do a scorecard of how you're actually going to track this data and how you're basically going to be iterating on that. And then lastly, you scale staff by replacing yourself without losing the magic. And bam, you are a gym owner, which at the minute, my calendar is completely free. I live in Vancouver. My gym is in Bath, and I do not have to do anything. I maybe do 1 or 2 hours a week to manage that space. And it's biased. We charge the most. I'm guessing. I mean, the industry average churn is 15%. Ours is 3%. And we just create systems and a process that works. And it's become this thing, and we've just gone through it and said, right, this is who we're helping. This is the offer. Simple as. All right. So guys, look, hopefully that's helped. Let's give a quick little recap on this. So copy this survey, like literally go through. You can just DM me, I'll send it to you, or you can go through and get some of these questions and get from these questions. Send it out to your current customers. If you don't have customers, just send it out to your network, right? But send it out to your current customers. And from there, you'll be able to understand who they are, who are the best paying, who stay for the longest, who gives you the most referrals. Then you can get that data, turn it into a spreadsheet, run it through ChatGPT, and it will tell you exactly who are your best customers, who you're actually helping, and then you will be able to cut out 80% of the crap that you think works but doesn't actually work. Put those resources back into what actually does work, and so you can and then you can fundamentally help a certain type of audience. And even if you do all of that and nothing happens, you're still just showing your members and your customers that you're actually listening to them. You want their feedback, and they have a part in this. It's not just this like, I own a business, you do what I say. It's no, you can actually be part of this journey to grow when it comes to this business. All right, guys, if you found this useful, please leave a like, leave a comment, ask me a question. I get back to all the comments on my channel. If you want more of this stuff, go below and join the Cali Academy. It's completely free. The book will be on there soon, Broke to Booked. But even then, I've got 50 hours of content, tens of thousands of words, and everything you need to go from not being qualified or being a personal trainer qualified to getting your first 10 PT clients. It's also got the gym owner framework on there. It's got everything that you need to be a fitness professional on there for free. So go on there, enter your information, send me a DM. I'm more than happy to help you out. And if you want more of this content, guys, subscribe. I'm going to be releasing tons more of this stuff, daily YouTubes, to make sure to help the fitness professional, basically help 21-year-old me that just quit his engineering degree, had no fucking clue what he was doing. I just want to reflect on this stuff and share those lessons with him, and it might help you along the way. And guys, if you know another fitness professional or a gym owner that you think this would help, send it to them. That's my only ask. Again, it's all about spreading this information, and my mission is make the UK healthier, make the world healthier, and I believe that we can do that by empowering fitness professionals to get the skills they need to actually help the people in their area. So guys, love you loads. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.